You guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today we are going to sit down and have a homeschool mom chat on the life skills focuses in our homeschool this year, just to share things that I am focusing on with my children who are 16 down to 11, things that I'm prioritizing, and just to share some ideas with you guys, really for no other reason than because we enjoy chatting about homeschool together, don't we? Or you wouldn't be here listening. So this video is not meant, let me repeat that, this video is not meant to be a competition or a contest where you're comparing the skills of your children versus mine. Your kids may be absolute whizzes in the kitchen and mine still needs some work, and that is okay. That is all right. Everyone will learn the things they need to learn. Everyone's life and situation is different. So please, no criticism in that regard regarding what I'm focusing on, but I'm just here to share some ideas with you guys and truly share the things that we are focusing on in our home and in our homeschool and life, because that all works together. This homeschool year in this area. All right, so life skills sound like what they are. They are skills that you need for life. And if any of you grew up in the public education system, you will probably recognize and say that your education was probably lacking in some area that you needed for life. I can recall many instances and many things that would have been far more beneficial to learn in the high school setting or even the college setting. That would have been much more beneficial for life. However, they are not taught. We are taught parabolas instead of how to pay taxes. And, we are taught, tons of information that is important, I guess, if you're going to end up using it. But really, life skills are what we need to know for life. Things like budgeting, things like how to take care of a home. And a lot of that stuff is overlooked. So what do we have? Well, we have a culture right now of a lot of young adults who are very, how can I say this without being offensive? They're very dependent on other adults who are more self-sufficient. So we have adults depending on adults. We have young adults depending on adults because they were never taught, they've never taken initiative, and I really just feel like society as a whole is kind of unraveling in this area. So it is my goal and my mission as a mother to prepare my children in the best way that I can. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover everything because I don't know what's going to come their way, but my goal is that they do leave my home prepared in the things that are important for life. And so that can be overwhelming. And it honestly is, especially as you get into the older years where you're kind of hearing like the time ticking away, like an actual audible sound in your ears, and you're thinking about everything you need to teach your daughter before she turns 18 and potentially decides she wants to leave your house. Like, all the things I need to teach you, I don't have enough time, and it can feel very overwhelming. So rather than being overwhelmed and paralyzed by that overwhelm, I have just made it a priority to try to teach and build off of previous things that were taught, leaning into more of that. So now that I've kind of given a broad overview, the specific focuses that we are going to be having in our homeschool and in our life this year, it is continuing to build on my children's cleaning and housekeeping skills. Not just my daughters, my boys as well. They have been doing chores and cleaning since they were toddlers. However, as they've gotten older, it makes more sense that their cleaning capabilities also increase. So this summer, I did a major overhaul of their chore charts. And I'll do a separate video on that, so look out for that if that's something you're interested in. But I did a major overhaul, and what I actually did was break down the list basically of what is required for our home to be cleaned top to bottom. And I broke that up into daily manageable things and dispersed it amongst everyone, myself and my husband included. So the house is getting cleaned top to bottom in a week's time, but just not all on the same day because time does not allow for that. So we're building on cleaning skills. We're adding things. The chores are longer. They're more in depth. There's just like, instead of, just vacuuming the carpet, now we're like moving furniture and doing baseboards and, vacuuming different things and dusting vents and, just adding on to that so that they have an awareness and a capability. Also, I give, and I'll touch on this more in the chore video, but I don't change my kids' chores except once a year. So I swap things so that everyone is getting exposure to doing different things and different chores so that they are all very well versed in the cleaning and maintenance of a home. Very, very important life skill, I would say, whether male or female. The next thing that I'm having my kids focus on is a few years ago, I turned their laundry specifically over to them, but now I've added on like doing their linens, doing their bedding, putting all their bedding back on, the frequency in which the bedding needs to be washed, why, etc. So they're doing all of their laundry in its entirety, start to finish. That is something that we are focusing on. We are also focusing on building the kitchen skills. So I started this with my kids because a lot of you guys will ask with like when they were younger, with them just helping me prep in the kitchen, cutting up an onion, cutting up a pepper, doing that kind of stuff. And then they moved into making their own breakfast and simple things in the kitchen. But now we're at the point of where they have basic cooking skills, and now it's time for them to learn how to make entire meals, and for our family, so for 6 people. So this year, that is what we are going to be focusing on. Now, I don't have time in my homeschooling days during the week to do a whole like kitchen prep and, proper meat handling and all of that. So what I'm going to do is every Sunday, one of my kids will be making dinner on Sunday, and I obviously will have to sit in there at first and facilitate and observe some children more than others, so that we all don't end up with salmonella, but it will be vital for them to understand how to prepare a meal start to finish, how to clean up the meal start to finish, and then they will also walk away knowing how to make some healthy meals, and they're not just relying on a Hot Pocket when they move out because they don't know how to cook a single thing. They already know how to make stuff, so nobody come for me, but I'm talking about more difficult things like dinners for a family, not just, whipping up a quesadilla or some mac and cheese. So we're moving into the cooking for the family phase this year. I asked them what meal they wanted to learn, and I kind of gave some guidance. Like my son, he's so funny. He's like, I want to Traeger meat like dad. And I was like, well, maybe we won't start with Traegering meat. Maybe we'll start with like spaghetti with meat sauce, like something a little more simple. So that is going to be a big focus this year, family dinner preparation. The other thing that we are focusing on is financial and banking things with my older kids. Having a checking account, having a savings account, learning how to transfer money to and from those accounts, learning how to use a debit card, knowing how to use an ATM, knowing how to enter a PIN number when they are out doing those things. All of these things, very, very important life skills. Talking about overdraft and how you can overdraw your checking account, keeping a budget, like all of these things. Next year, I'm really going to focus more on this, but I wanted to kind of ease into it with that. And then on the same note, my oldest child will most likely be getting her first job. And so with that is going to come money management. Now, we've always spoken to our kids about tithing, saving, and spending, and tried to teach them proper designation of the funds. Sometimes they do it and sometimes they don't. It's not something I've really dug my heels in on because you have to pick your battles as a mom. But now with them all getting allowance, which is new in our house, which I will talk about in the chore video, they have money coming in, even my younger kids. And so learning how to properly handle your money and be disciplined as a young person is so important. My kids will do Dave Ramsey's course, not this year, but next year. And so we're just kind of building and beginning those skills of learning about finance, understanding those real life things. My daughter drives now, so getting gas with a debit card, like these are things that you don't think you're going to need to teach your child, but you do have to take the time to teach them. How to prevent identity theft, like all these things, they're all really important. And some of us were just thrown out into the pool, sink or swim, figure it out. That was me. And there was a lot of difficulty that I could have been spared had somebody actually shown me, taught me what is wise for budgeting, what is not, that kind of thing. And so it's my goal to teach my children so that they're informed and then their decisions are reflective of that information that they've had, that they're able to be helpful in their homes and in whatever living situation they're in, and just be really well-rounded people that are not dependent on Uber Eats. That's just not the kind of children I want to raise. So that is what we are focusing on for life skills. All of my kids in some capacity focusing on those things, and that is what we're working on. So let me know if you guys have any questions on this topic. If you're wanting chore ideas, let me know and I will include the specific chores in the video that I do about that. I was more gonna highlight just kind of like what we're doing and why we're doing it, but if you want specifics, let me know. And I will see you guys again in my next video really soon. If you enjoy mom chats like this, give me a thumbs up. It's a free way to support my channel and I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys again really soon. Bye.